ॐ वाङ् मे मनसि प्रतिष्ठिता मनो मे वाचि प्रतिष्ठितम् आविराविर्मयेधि वेदस्समआणिस्तः श्रुतं मे मा प्रहासि अनेनाधीतेनाहोरात्रान् सन्दधामि ऋतं वदिष्यामि सत्यं वदिष्यामि तन्मामवतु तद्वक्तारमवतु अवतु माम् अवतु वक्तारमवतु वक्तारम् ॐ शान्ति 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 हरिः ॐ. Om, may my speech be accorded with the mind. May my mind be accorded with the speech. O self-effulgent one Brahman, reveal thyself to me. May you both speech and mind be the carriers of the highest truth to me. May not all that I have heard depart from me. May I be able to join day and night through this study. I shall utter what is verbally true. I shall utter what is mentally true. May that Brahman protect me. May that Brahman protect the teacher. May that protect me. May that protect the teacher. Om, peace, peace. Peace be unto you all. Good morning. This morning I am going to speak specifically on philosophy, but it has a tremendous impact in our spiritual life also. Rather, I would explain it in this way: it will help us in building our spiritual life. In Indian philosophy, all the different schools, philosophical schools, they instructed about the spiritual life almost in the same tune. Everywhere we know there is a kind of ice breaking, the first initial inertia we have to break. For first introduction with some unknown person, we have to talk something which can break the ice or break the wall between us. So there is always some introduction, some kind of ice breaking, some kind of, some introduction which can help us to converse in a smoother way. So this introduction of spiritual life is to make ourselves purified and ready to start spiritual practice. So what is that purification and make us ready to jump into spiritual practice? These are, in Patanjali Yoga Sutra we find, the first introduction is the yama, niyama, etc. So all these steps we have to perform for our purification, to get myself or get ourselves ready to start the spiritual practice. Similarly, in Vedanta, we find that Shama, Dama, Uparati, etc. are there, which are the means of purification, tools of purification, and that will make us ready to jump into the spiritual practice. So these are the purifications, and in Tantra also we find the same few steps are there, which are the means or tools for our purification, so that we can jump into our spiritual practice. So this is the ice breaking. So an ordinary human being, if they jump into the spiritual practice, so definitely they would not go directly to the spiritual practice. They have to go through these processes to make them ready for the spiritual practice. Similarly, if you suddenly go for meditation, if you just sit and start your meditation, that is not prescribed and advised. So you have to go some processes, something, some chanting, some prayer. After that, your mind will come down and then you can start your meditation. That is the instruction everywhere, and that is the ice breaking in spiritual life. So, what is this shama? I would like to mention what does it mean by shama. In Vivek Chudamani, it is very clearly and interestingly it is given that birajya visaya trataho do padasthya muhurmuhu salakshe salakshe niyotavastha manasa shama uchyate. Birajya vishaya. So birajya means, disgusting. If we disgust in vishaya, so the resting of the mind steadily on the goal, that is true, after having detached itself from the manifold of sense object by continually observing their defects. So virajya, you will become disgusted from the worldly things. How can we become disgusted from the worldly things? Very interestingly, it gives by tuning with human tendencies. The human tendency is what? In Eternal Companion, Swami Brahmanandaji very beautifully said that if you gossip with a person, it will start with some good things. And after 3 minutes, it will come down to some kind of games. Now World Cup is coming. It will boil down into World Cup, football, soccer. And then it will go to some movies. And then some politics. And ultimately, it will end up with some criticism. So if you talk with a person, don't talk more than 3 minutes. Because after 3 minutes, it will end up with criticism. So it is our normal nature to criticize anything else except myself. So it is our tendency. Now we have to criticize the external things. So what are the characteristics of worldly things so that we can criticize them? The only defect it has, that it is impermanent. So everything what we are seeing, that is impermanent. So criticize and become disgusted that everything what we are holding is slipping from my grip. So that is impermanent. Criticize them and become disgusted. This is called shama. What is shama? You will become disgusted from the worldly things which are impermanent. So, but when we talk about impermanency, then there must be some permanent thing. What is that permanent? The existence is the permanent. So I am going to talk the concept of existence according to Advaita Vedanta. So if everything is impermanent, then what is permanent? That is, I am going to talk. So this is what is permanent. In Sanskrit, the permanent means it is a very profound concept. The permanent. It is not simple permanent. It is not childish kind of theory that it is permanent. So the permanent, actually it is, in Sanskrit it is called Sat, or something, sometimes it is called Satta. The term is suggested by Vaisheshika, Nyaya Vaisheshika. They actually suggested this term Satya. So Sat means existence. So what kind of existence? There is innumerable diversities in this world. A beautiful verse is there. It is in Mahabharata. Mahabharata has so many beautiful verses, very important and beautiful verses. So this is also from Mahabharata. It is said, Na asau muni rasya matam na bhinnam. So, na asau muni rasya. So it is said that despite differences, there are few things, nothing is there in this world which is actually bhinna matam. All our views are different. There is no any similar kind of view among us. So that is the nature's verdict, that is the nature's law. That is what it is said. No sages, muni rasya, na asau muni rasya, matam na bhinyam. So it is said that he is no sage who cannot hold a view which is entirely different from others. So if you don't have a different view, we cannot call you a muni. So that is the and who is muni? Mananam iti muni. Those who reflect, they are called muni. So those who are intellectuals, munis it is called. So those who are perform or those who practice mananam, reflection, they are called munis. So not a single, we cannot call them a muni who cannot hold a different view. So all scholars you can find, they have their own different views. So this is the diversification. So in this diversification, what is the permanent, not diversified things in this universe? And what is the concept of permanent in this universe? Because everything in this world is impermanent. But what is the condition of permanent things? It is a profound study, and different schools of philosophies have their own concept. If their time permits, I shall go to those things according to different philosophical schools, what is their concept of permanency. But let me start with the Vedantic concept of permanent. So, what is the condition of the permanent thing? So, following the Upanishadic text and Advaita philosophy, they have equated existence with the absolute reality. Real. So, permanency is connected with the word real. So, what is unreal? Which is impermanent? That is unreal. What is permanent? That is real. So, unreal doesn't means non-existent. Unreal means it is not permanent. It is existence. Existence is there, it is existent, but it is not permanent. Now, the Advaitins have therefore described absolute existence as Sat, as that which is uncontradicted. This is the very important word. The first condition of permanency is which is uncontradicted. What does it mean by uncontradicted? I shall come to that point. So, non-contradiction is the essential mark of reality. So, which is uncontradicted and which is real? So, uncontradicted, which is there is no contradiction, that is real. And which is real, that must be one. That is non-dual. One means there is no any two. That is non-dual. And that is unqualified. Unqualified means there is no attributes, no qualities. I would explain why. And that is indeterminate. Means you cannot determine it by something. If there is any quality, then that quality is the determinant. You can determine something by telling its qualities. As for example, if you want to introduce some person, then how can you introduce that person? How can you describe that person? First you tell the name of that person. Name is the attributes. Attributes means it can change. Today name is something, tomorrow name will be that. Because you see, a person has different names also. So name. Then complexion, that is also attributes. Then the height, short height, tall, etc., etc. These are also attributes. So these are all determinant. You can determine a person by giving the reference of his or her attributes. But the reality, and if you give attributes, I shall come to that point, what will be the problem? And if you find the reality, reality doesn't have any this kind of attributes. Because if attributes are there, I shall come to the point, attributes are always impermanent. No attributes are permanent. You can think. No attributes are permanent. So, the one condition is uncontradicton. I can explain you what does it mean by contradiction. I shall explain you. So, the first condition of existence, which exists, means which is real. It is uncontradicton. There is no contradiction. no attributes. That is one. If there is no attributes, all the other logic you can find from one thing. If it is no attributes, that is only one, means no two, not non-dual and unqualified. It underlies the universe of diverse objects, which is an appearance. So why there is so diversification? Why there is the attributes? Everything, according to Vedanta, it is said all are appearance. These are not real, but simple the appearance. And those, as they are appearance, the appearance are changing, it is changeable, they change appearance. They are perishable. Change means perishable. What is change? From one thing to another thing. That means the first thing is dying, then the another thing is coming. So perishable. Changing means perishable and hence impermanent. They gave the analogy of snake and rope. So there is a dark place, you are going. Actually there was a snake, but you found, actually there was a rope and you found snake. Now there is snake, and that is permanent to you as long as your illusion or ignorance vanishes. So the rope is there, you found as a snake. Then you turn on the light and you found that is not the rope, but not the snake, but the rope. Now the point is this. So the snake is contradicted by the rope. So it is actually a rope, but you found it the snake. The illusory snake is fleeting object. So that is the illusion. Now here is the snake is contradicted by the piece of rope. So that is uncontradicted. Means the reality is uncontradicted. There will be no contradiction. If you bring light, if you do something, there will be no change. So contradiction means in different circumstances, it changes. Time, space, and causation. These are the factors. So for human being, there are other two sets of factors. What are the two sets of factors? Say, one is past, present, future. Another set is waking, dreaming, and dreamless sleep. These are the different sets of conditions. So, if you see the snake, consider the snake. So, in certain condition, snake vanishes. Another important thing is there. If you go towards the snake, that snake will never bite you. You cannot find any active action from the illusion. And when you actually find, you find nothing. So, what is the conclusion from this? The conclusion is this: every illusion, everything, there must be a substratum. Substratum means an underlying thing, that is the rope on which the illusory thing projected. So, the substratum of the illusory snake is real. The substrata of the illusion are always real. No illusion can take place upon something which is false. Two false never exist. In the case of both being false, one cannot be mistaken by others. So there must not be two false things. If you see some kind of illusion, there must be there. Take another example. If a pole is there at night and you are going, you saw somebody standing there. But when you go forward, you can find that there is none, only a pole. So that means pole is there, but out of illusion you are seeing something. So when you find some kind of projection, there must be a substratum. The substratum is real, on which projection falls. So there will be, so what is real then? Number one condition, that will not be contradictory. Contradiction means it will not subject to time-space causation. Waking state, dreaming state, and deep sleep state, those are not conditioned by anything else. The realities are not conditioned by those things. But the illusion, yes. So that is called uncontradictory. So in the same way, we can find that the world, everything what we are seeing, are actually the projection on the real substratum. What is the proof of that? It is said that the manifested universe, marked by birth, change, destruction, all are illusory. Being illusory, it must be admitted that something permanent is its substratum. And that should be ever uncontradicted. In the case of snake rope illusion, the consciousness is associated with the rope, is the substratum of illusion, and not the rope as such. Hence, so this is another point. Consciousness must be connected with the substratum. Otherwise, that is not permanent. Then, what is the Advaitic concept of existence? There are three types of, from this point of view, there are three types of existence we find. One is absolute existence, which is real absolute existence. And we can find that absolute existence, it is non-contradiction in three periods of time and three states 3 period of time means past, present, future. And 3 state means waking, dream and deep sleep. These are not subject to change with all these phases. So this state of an individual passes through every day, waking, dreaming and dreamless sleep. This may further suggest not getting associated with anything, no attributes. Such absolute existence refers to Brahman alone, which pure consciousness. That is one, that is non-attributed, that is real. So this is one kind of concept of existence. What is the second kind of existence? That is called empirical existence. This empirical existence also is non-contradiction. What we are seeing, that is the empirical existence. This is also not contradicted. As long as you can understand there is a rope, the knowledge comes to you, you cannot understand that is a rope. So any external condition can change your knowledge. So if any external condition can change your knowledge, that is illusion. Which cannot change your knowledge, that is permanent. External condition means, I have mentioned, time, space, causation, waking, dream, dreamless sleep. So we have to verify that if it is changing or not. So the absolute existence is obviously all these things are proved. Then the empirical existence. Empirical existence means what we are seeing here. That is also non-contradiction. As long as we are not illumined, as long as light is not brought, you know that is 100% a snake. So that's why 100% we know that all these diversifications are real as long as some external things will give us the knowledge. By the support of external things, we can have the knowledge that this will vanish. But yes, logically we can prove that these are the substratum. These are the superimposition, not the substratum. How can we prove that logically? So I have mentioned that the illusory things, snake will vanish by the external things. Say, try to verify with all sets of things, past, present, future. So you are seeing these all chairs, this hall, this altar, everything you are seeing. Are these real? Why? Why it is not real? Because after some time you cannot see this. When you will go home, can you see this? That means it is not proved by time. Then space. If you go to the garden, can you see this? No. That means if you change the space, it will vanish. And then again causation. It has some cause. And effect and cause are identified. Effect always comes out from the cause, So that means these are depending on the cause. So, then three state, waking, dream and dreamless. In the waking state you can see this, it is true. But in dream, can you see this? You may not. In deep sleep you cannot see that. That means it is clearly said that this is not permanent. But it is permanent as long as you are not be illumined. Logically it is correct. So this kind of existence is called empirical existence. It is also non-contradiction of the world of experience, which is marked by time, space and causation. Such a world persists for a man who is yet to be illumined through intuitive experience. Here, of course, contradiction and transcendence do not mean non-perception of the empirical universe, but complete certitude of falsity. These are all false. You can understand that logically. The third kind of existence is the illusory existence. That is also non-contradiction. That is why Shankaracharya accepted all the three states as true. So illusory existence is also non-contradictory. See, this one is also non-contradictory, the worldly what you are seeing, but it is non-contradictory in the sense as long as you are not illumined. Then the illusory existence is the dreaming state. When you are dreaming, then what you are seeing, that is also true for you during that period of time. So Sri Ramakrishna gave a beautiful example, So one farmer, very poor. So always his wife, tells this farmer, bring something, how can we manage the family, this and that, etc. Now one day the farmer, he dreamt and he saw in dream that he is sitting with his grandsons and all are eating in a golden plate, golden bowl and sumptuous foods. Now when he woke up, then he is asking his wife, which one is true? Waking state or dreaming state? Because as long as I dreamed, I saw that and that was true for me. And now I am seeing this poor condition. So which one is true? That is the question. So all these are illusory existence. So in dream, what you are seeing, that is also non-contradiction under the spell of illusion. So a piece of illusory snake you are seeing in dream, though it appears for time being, does not serve the practical purpose. Here it deserves mention that the illusoriness that is called in Sanskrit. There are three states I mentioned. In Sanskrit, this illusory existence or illusory perception is called pratibhashika. This is also truth. That is why it is called Pratibhashika Satya. It is Satya means truth. Pratibhashika Satya. Then the empirical existence is the Vyavaharika, what we are doing everyday life. That is the Vyavaharika Satya. And the absolute existence, truth, is called Paramarthika Satya. So these three types of truths are there. All are truth. At that frame of reference, everything is truth. So this pratibhashika or illusory existence of something does not only mean its existence as long as it is perceived. So in this case, happiness, misery, etc., too will be regarded as the illusory, since they do not endure beyond their perception. So you are happy to certain extent, not beyond that. So as we perceive our dream, all these things are just like that. Hence, illusoriness is described as that which is caused by some adventitious defect. Now, take the example of another thing, a pot, a earthen pot. So its outer form is not independent of the material cause. The material cause, it is a... So, the pot, it has a shape, it has a form, it has a material, everything else. The shape doesn't have anything, This clay or all these things have no meaning because the name pot, it has no meaning. I can call it any name. Secondly, if I call it, it is only a lump of earth. Can you deny that? All are earth only. So what is important? The important is the potness, the essence, the potness of it. That is what is important. And this potness exists always. If you break the pot, if you make it a dust, everything, it will exist. So this shape and everything is not exist with respect to time, space, and so it is cannot real. Again, it cannot be real. We can see it only the waking state, not in dream sleep, not in deep sleep. We cannot find it. So, there are two verses, very important, one from Bhagavad Gita and another from Gaudapada's Karika. So Bhagavad Gita, verse number 16, chapter 2, it is said, Na asato vidyate bhavo. Asato means not sat, means non-existence, unreal. Na asato vidyate means existence. Bhavo. Bhavo means here, there are two terms, abhava. Abhava means non-existence. The opposite of non-existence is bhava. Bhava means is this, not abhava. So, the verse says, Na asata vidyate bhavo. Asat, what is unreal, is non-existent. Na asata vidyate bhavo. So as a bhavo, asata will not vidyate, not existent. Then na bhavo vidyate asata. Just the opposite thing. Na abhavo vidyate sato. In sat. So it says the unreal, which is unreal, there is no existence. And which has the existence, that is real. So no unreal, there is existence. But real, which is real, there is no non-being, na asato. So always real means existence. Non-real means non-existence. Gaudapada also speaks in the similar way, that which does not exist either in the beginning, this is simple, which does not exist in the beginning or in the end, so that exists not in the middle too. Very simple. How can you understand which is impermanent? It was not before, it will be not after. That means not it is in the middle also. This is impermanent. Take any example. Human being. Take my example. I was not before, I will be not after. Then I am impermanent. I will not be in the middle also. And what is impermanent is illusory, not real. Real means existent. Unreal means non-existent. So this is, in short, the concept of existence, or the concept of existence according to Advaita. So there will be change, perishability, impermanence marks this world. That means it is not real. But when there is anything not real, that means underlying something there is real. There must be one thing real. Otherwise, how can it be projected? If there is no rope, how can you see the snake? If nothing is there, then how can you see the snake? And the attributes. These attributes are also impermanent. I shall not go any detail. After this, the next step is little bit complicated. I shall not go to that. Up to here, I think it is okay. Do you have any question? Yes.
So when you say the pot, when the pot is broken, it's into the pieces, how will it still have its form?
So what is the most important characteristics of the pot. Its form. Form is impermanent. If I call it a lump of clay, how the pot will come? Which is true. Instead of calling it pot, if I say it is a lump of clay, that is also true. So what is the difference between the pot and a clay horse? If you look it from the point of view of clay, then there is no difference between a pot and a horse. So all are clay. So the characteristics is the potness, isness, potness. If you break it, if you destroy it completely out of your sight, the potness will exist. Because that is a concept, not the percept. So percept may change by the change of the time, space and causation, or the three states, awaking, dreaming and deep sleep. But the concept stays.
So like in the same concept, if we can take it to our beings.
Yes, the human being. So what is the essence of human being? The humanness, in which is called, in other words, the manush is called manushotya, the manness. So that actually the important thing which differs from one another. The cow has a cowness. That is the very special thing that will stay. It is according to Nyaya and Vaisheshika. This is Nyaya and Vaisheshika view, that this potness, this cowness, this manness, this will stay. That is the real essence of everything. And that is called parajati or something like that. They call it this. It is present in substance, attribute and action in the relation to inherence. So they give importance in the attributes. But Vedanta does not, because attributes are also temporary. In Vedanta actually do not deal with the external world too much. Vedanta deals with individual. Because as long as individual exists, world exists. If I am not here, where is my world? Nowhere. So Shankaracharya deals with individual, not the world. So this world is called Maya, according to technical term. Swami Vivekananda's concept is that if you try to analyze Maya, you will become trapped. You will be caught by Maya itself. So avoid Maya. Although he delivered talk in London, 3 talks on Maya, but he talked about try to be positive and try to understand the substratum. Try to understand the real permanent thing. Don't the Maya. Yes.
Could you say more about the strongest arguments for the existence of something permanent underlying the impermanent?
Yes. So substratum, you are talking about the substratum. The substratum is permanent thing, and which is permanent is one. Which is one is without any attribute. Which is without any attribute is eternal. So that is why, according to Vedanta, all substratum is nothing but Brahman. And all these are diversification, nothing but superimposition, the projection. All are rope, in simple words. The substratum must be rope, but the superimposition snake are all illusory. You try it with all these things, you can find it has no existence.
Follow-up. So how is this concept of attributelessness different from the concept of or it's different or similar?
Attributes are all also impermanent, if you think. So there are two types of attributes. I am not going to deeper into this because all may not understand this. So this is also a kind of, there are two types of attributes. As for example, a blue lotus. The blueness is the attributes. Okay? This is a one type of attributes. But the potness is another kind of attributes. So potness and blueness is not same. Because in the case of blueness, the real thing is not the blue, but the lotus. But in the potness, it is the real thing. So attributes, these are two types of attributes.
So this permanent existence that underlies the impermanent, so why is it not nothingness or
Yes. Why it is, so nothingness, it is a Buddhist concept, you could understand that. So if there are two illusory things, I said, there must not be two illusory things. So substratum must be eternal and permanent, real. So if there is two illusory things, that will lead us to the nothingness. So two illusory must not exist together. That means that is nothingness. But when I am talking about substratum real and the projection, superimposition, that means substratum is real. One thing is real. Yes.
Just, I think you mentioned intuition at one point. So is it safe to say, therefore, thought is a function of time and hence it's impermanent, unreal? And intuition is not a function of time?
Yes, that experience is not worldly. That is for sure.
So we have thoughts and we have intuitions. And intuition somehow reveals something which is beyond the realm of time.
I am explaining these things. So the thoughts, intuition, what we are explaining and discussing right now, everything depends on our senses. Brain, if you consider the brain, according to Vedanta, the mind, the brain, these are also kind of senses. Okay? So all our intuitions right now, all our thoughts, all our analysis are based on our intelligence. This is our common intelligence. So common intelligence, that means this is based on our senses. So which is based on our senses is not permanent, because senses are not permanent. So then what kind of this Brahman kind of experience? That is the question. What is the difference between our ordinary intelligence and the Brahman kind of intelligence? So everything I mentioned in my last talk, probably Sunday, that everything according to Shankara, everything is coming to us in the form of vritti. So your knowledge of Brahman is called Brahmakara vritti. The Buddhist Shunya is coming Shunyakara vritti. And the Bhakti, that also comes. The Bhakti, ultimate realization through Bhakti, that also will come to the Bhava vritti. Shankara called it Bhava vritti. So this Brahmakara vritti is not same. This is a special kind of vritti which is not similar to our ordinary intelligence, ordinary vritti. Our ordinary vritti gives birth another vritti, but Brahmakara vritti doesn't give birth to another vritti. This is the difference. So this is a kind of paradigm shift, this Brahmakara vritti.
Yeah, the only other question I had was, for something to be illusory, it has to be based out of a substratum which is not illusory. So let's say the snake and the rope is an illusion. The rope is true, the snake is an illusion. But the fact that I have experienced the illusion, what is the driving force behind that experience? Is that real?
It is not the experience, it is the knowledge.
Yeah, but the fact that
The illusion, because of your ignorance, you are seeing that snake. So when you have the knowledge, dawn of knowledge, means all are vritti. You have the illusory vritti, snake vritti. That is the illusion. Then the knowledge came, the rope vritti came. So you could understand it is not the snake, it is the rope.
Yeah, but while the illusion was going on,
That is ignorance.
on the substrate.
Yes, that is ignorance. There are two types of ignorance. One is called Tula Ajnana. That Ajnana means if you have information, your ignorance will go. Physics, chemistry, mathematics, you are doing that ignorance. That is Tula Ajnana. But another is the Mula Ajnana. That is the deeper type of ignorance. This snake and rope, those are Tula Ajnana, external ignorance. But you are not body, you are not mind. That is Mula Ajnana. So that kind of real thing is that. All our external illusion, external superimpositions has no meaning. So our main superimposition is the projection of the sense of body, mind, etc. on the real substratum Atman. That we have to get rid. These are all examples. The external things are only examples. We have to get rid of that kind of illusion. That is the main illusion we have. Fundamental illusion. Now, try to practice it. So, discrimination. Now comes the discrimination. Every moment of your life, you have to take decision. Okay? Our decision makes everything. Every moment we are taking decision. So decision is extremely important thing in our life. Now, how can you make decision? In decision making, discrimination, you must have two things. Yes, no. So the first is good and bad. At one point, it will come. There are different levels. You can discriminate step by step. What is good and bad? What is right and wrong? Right and wrong means generally we justify it ethically, morally. Right or wrong. The third part will come, which is permanent, which is impermanent. And when this third level will come, permanent and impermanent, what are your metrics? What are your evaluation criteria? How can you evaluate these conditions? What is permanent, what is impermanent? Try to verify with all these metrics, all these parameters. That whether time-space causation, it is real or unreal, whether past, present, future, it is real, unreal, waking, dream and deep sleep, what is, it is real or unreal? Try to discriminate. And this will help us. What? This will help us what? To get rid of what? Huh? Please, loudly.
Ignorance.
Huh?
Ignorance.
Ignorance? Okay. Any other?
Illusion.
What?
Illusion.
Illusion. Anything?
Ego.
Ego. Any other? What is the English of moha? Delusion. Yes. Closer to that. What I actually want the word. No. Desire. Everyone says, all religions of the world says, desire is the dangerous thing. The more desire, it is like a kind of penalty. Penalty means if you foul in the penalty box, then you are the penalty will be awarded against you. So this is the kind of penalty. If you have desire, it is vice versa. Directly proportional to our suffering. Desire directly proportional to our suffering. So, this discrimination will help us to get rid of desire. How? If we are attached to some worldly things, try to bring your discrimination. Permanent, impermanent. Shama. This is the practice of shama. Thank you. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah, Sarve Santu Niramaya, Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu, Ma Kaschit Dukkham Apnuvat, Sarvastarotu Durgani, Sarvo Bhadrani Pashyatu, Sarva Sadbuddhimapnotu, Sarva Sarvatra Nandatu, Durjana Sajjano Bhuyat, Sajjana Shantimapnuat, Shantamuccheti Bandhebhyo, Muktaschanyan Vimochayet. May all be happy. May all enjoy good health. May all see happy events. May all be freed from miseries. May all be freed from dangers. May all realize what is good. May all be actuated by noble thoughts. May all rejoice everywhere. May the wicked become virtuous. May the virtuous attain tranquility. May the tranquil be free from bondages. May the freed make others free. May the Supreme Spirit, the presiding deity of all sacred activities, be satisfied. For he being pleased, the whole universe feels satisfied. Peace, peace, peace be unto you all. As usual, tea and coffee will be served in our Sardananda hall, which will be followed by Prasad luncheon. You all are welcome. Thank you. Next Sunday, we will have Sunday talk as usual at 11 o'clock. চলে আসুন আপনি।